Hey guys, welcome to a new video. Like, comment and subscribe if you enjoy. Without any further interruptions, enjoy the what if. Chapter 11. Hot Heat. Naruto wasn't a very hateful person. It was very difficult to irk Naruto's nerves enough to actually make him openly despise you just for existing. Things that had earned this discrepancy: Orochimaru, Kabuto Yakushi, Madara Uchiha, bigotry, cold ramen, and fresh vegetables. Now there was a new add-on to that list. I fucking hate the goddamn desert. Naruto yelled as he and Soren finally found where the Straw Hat crew had left the ship and moved inland from. The two decided to take a short breather on board before trying to figure out which way they had headed. The Going Merry had been stopped by a town covered in sand, like it caught the brunt of the abuse from a sandstorm. Soren yelled right back as he walked out of their kitchen, "Oh, shut the hell up, Uzumaki. At least you don't dry out like a raisin in the sun like I do. I need more fluid out here than everyone else on our crew combined." He then pointed a thumb back into the kitchen. And what the hell happened to all of their food? Didn't they just restock back in Nanohana? It hasn't even been 2 days yet. As a matter of fact, what happened to our food, because we're out on our ship too? Forget the food, look at my face, Soren. Naruto shouted while painfully poking his red face. I've got fucking sunburn. Even though it would heal up in record time, sunburn was still sunburn and it still sucked for everyone alike. Soren flicked Naruto on the forehead, eliciting a yelp of pain. Look at me, you idiot, I'm bald. Now that Naruto noticed, Soren's entire exposed skin set was even more lobster red than his was. Naruto gave Soren an apologetic look. Oh, sorry Soren. You're right. Come on, they've got that Dr. Reindeer chopper of theirs on board. I'm sure they've got something for this. Naruto accentuated with an intentionally hard set of pats on the back as he made his way back inside. Soren yelled out in pain and followed Naruto back inside, taking care to keep his back arched. Fuck you. Gah, I'm going to be shedding for weeks. Awesome. Naruto shouted as he picked up something on a chair inside of the ship. Noji-chan left my sage coat here, and that means no more sunburn for me, Naruto said with a grin while throwing the red jacket on his frame. Soren grumbled and went all over going through the possessions of the Straw Hat crew members, trying to find some of Chopper's medical supplies, and maybe something to cover his body with while they crossed the rest of the desert. Chuckling at Soren's grumbles, Naruto noticed a note fall to the floor that he picked up to read. To Naruto-kun and Soren. We are headed northwest to Yuba with the rest of the Straw Hats. We thought about leaving one of us with the ship for when you caught up, but I know that you'll be able to meet us soon. I hope you'll be careful, and that you two don't kill each other out there, because if you do we'll never find your bodies. Good luck, Nojiko. Naruto shook his head and put the note in his pocket with a smile on his face. I appreciate the thought, Noji-chan, but there was a chance that someone else could have intercepted this that shouldn't have. Ah. Soren walked up to Naruto with a look of relief on his face as he rubbed a white ointment onto his head. Did that little reindeer make this stuff? Again, I reiterate, we need to lure that little miracle worker onto our ship. Take some, it's awesome. He then blinked before pointing at Naruto accusingly. Hey, what happened to your face? It's barely even red anymore. Bullshit, you aren't even peeling. Naruto rubbed the back of his neck sheepishly. I heal really quick. Soren grumbled a little more before rubbing more ointment onto his head and settling down. Well, we left the Marines in the dust back in Nanohana. After the kicking we gave them, if they show up again I would call that a small miracle for them. Or, Naruto responded, they'll just amass their forces after this and wait us out so that they don't have to fight us on those same terms again. Either way, we need to catch up to everybody else and link back up with our own crew. Where the hell is Yuba? It's northwest. Soren pointed in the proper direction as they made their way back outside. And why are we going to Yuba? You and I could probably sack the capital all on our own and nip this in the bud now. Naruto wagged his finger chittingly at Soren. Sacking the capital wouldn't do anyone any good, Soren, unless you want to run the country or something, and I don't see why in Kami's name you would. It's mostly paperwork anyway. Crocodile isn't going to be out in the open. That would be way too easy, and I'm sure that if he orchestrated this whole thing he's not that stupid. Naruto stroked his chin in thought. We're not going to Yuba. Soren blinked blankly for a moment before he pumped his fist in victory. Hell yeah. We're going to sack the capital. Naruto shook his head, we're not going to the capital either. It wouldn't even do us any good to go there, I keep telling you. He walked along the deck of the ship, pacing about. We need to utterly wreck his entire operation, make it rot from the inside out. We need to start picking Baroque works apart, because even if we got Crocodile's location somehow he still has a damn entire army at his beck and call to block us. Before Naruto could say any more, a pack of running feet and a mass of confused animal noises drew their attention. Both men stood at the edge of the ship and took note of a group of strange purple-frilled lizards running south through the desert. At a closer look, Soren nudged Naruto. Uzumaki, check it out. Look at what they're carrying. The lizards were carrying paper messages in their hands. Naruto narrowed his eyes. Go get one of Nami-chan's maps and tell me what's north of Yuba. Soren went inside while Naruto debated killing one of the innocent lizards for their message. Nah. There's no reason to, especially if we end up running into some human operatives after this anyway. Soren came back out. There's a town north of Yuba, Rainbase. Why did you want to know? Those things came from straight north-northwest. It looks like we're going to Rainbase, Soren. Get ready because we're going to be moving fast again. Naruto said with a smirk on his face. Soren shrugged. You're the boss. Just let me grab my stuff and we can leave. XXX as the Straw Hats and the remainders of the Foxhound Pirates walked through the desert, sans Naruto and Soren. The latter crew was actually concerned with their missing crew members, or one person was. Nojiko walked with her head down as they all trudged through the desert. I wish I knew whether or not they were okay. We left Nanohana so fast I couldn't tell whether or not they won. Johnny snickered. We saw a tornado from 10 kilometers away from the town. Who else on the face of the planet has the power to make tornadoes at will? And who else would be crazy enough to use it in the middle of a town? Naruto, Aniki and Soren are just fine. With the promise of actually eating lunch at the next rock they came across. Please note that this was in a desert. Luffy sprinted while dragging all of the supplies behind him over to the shady area. Look. A rock. Lunch. Why is he so fast now? Usopp asked while pointing with his thumb at the dust cloud. Sanji sighed as he took a drag from his cigarette while his eyes were preoccupied with reading something, because Vivi-chan told the idiot we could eat at the next rock we made it to. Vivi smiled sheepishly before looking over to Nami. So I've met him and know who he is, but I've never personally had a conversation with the man. Just who is this Naruto person that you and your sister keep mentioning? You've been referencing him ever since we left Whiskey Peak. Nami turned to her. Oh yeah, if Naruto-kun was on our crew then things wouldn't be nearly as hard as they are. Every time we've ever seen him fight he's beaten his opponent pretty easily. We've only seen him get serious once, and I still doubt he was really trying then. Yosaku, covered in desert travel garb, snorted nearby. I don't think we're ever going to see Naruto Aniki actually try against anyone. When he smashed Arlong the only hits he took were the ones he wanted to take. He tore the place apart without even meaning to. I mean, he makes tornadoes and tidal waves at will without batting an eye. That usually means that he can do more than that. No way, Vivi said, shaking her head. There's no way that anyone is that strong. I mean, look at you guys. I've seen Luffy fight and the way you talk you make it seem like he could destroy all of you without breaking a sweat. I admit, he's very good from when he protected me back at Whiskey Peak, but come on. Johnny and Yosaku raised their hands slowly. Actually, on that note, Naruto Aniki's been both beating the crap out of us and dodging Nojiko Ainu's gunshots blindfolded for training, or as he likes to call it, kicks. Both men then turned to each other and blinked. Wait, he never turned the weight seals back on, did he? Johnny laughed uproariously. I knew it was feeling too easy to move around. He pumped a fist towards Zoro. Really soon, Zoro Aniki. We'll be strong enough to fight you evenly really soon. Count on it. Zoro simply shook his head in amusement as he dragged a heat-exhausted chopper behind him on a makeshift sled. Miss Valentine had been very silent since they had left Nanohana, seemingly in thought. What's this guy's angle? She asked, getting the attention of everyone who had been talking. He just storms into a fight that wasn't his business, protects a princess he's never met of a country he probably otherwise would never have gone to. And then after he beats me up he offers to protect me. I can't put my finger on this guy. Nojiko shrugged. I've stopped trying to figure him out by now. It just leads to you thinking in circles. Just go with the flow like everyone else on our ship has been doing, because I don't even think Naruto-kun knows what he plans on doing until right when he does it. Miss Valentine laughed in amusement. Come on. He has to have some kind of higher level of thinking or something that you're all just not getting. All masterminds do. There's no way that anyone would just come out to sea without a plan of what they wanted, right? She finished, laughing more until 6 separate sweat drops were her answer. Really? Nami nodded and palmed her forehead as she tried to explain. Let me put this in perspective for you just so that you understand the level of higher thinking you're dealing with. When our Captain Luffy left his home island in the East Blue on a little dinghy by himself, he had a plan of forming a crew and eventually finding One Piece and becoming king of the pirates. Naruto-kun just got bored one day and 2 hours later hopped a merchant ship that took him away from his continent, where he stole a ship from pirates out at sea that attacked the one he was already riding on. He then ended up meeting me, Luffy, and Zoro, and traveled with us for a bit before wandering off and taking on these 2 sword slacker clowns and my sister when he got tired of staying in one place. I don't even think he has an actual goal for being out on the Grand Line. Miss Valentine face faulted into the sand. That's crazy. Who goes out onto the Grand Line without even an inkling of what you want to do out here? Yosaku interjected. In Naruto Iniki's defense, he did say he came out here in particular to fight the crushing boredom he was feeling from when he was at wherever his home is. Johnny spoke next. He also said that he wanted to find the strongest people in the world and fight them to see where he stacked up in comparison. And I pity the poor bastards that are that high up in the food chain. Nojiko sighed. That's Naruto-kun to a T, all right. Vivi blinked in confusion. But why doesn't he fight Luffy if he just wants to see where he stands in the world? Zoro shook his head, because both of them know that a fight like that wouldn't prove anything. As they both are now, Naruto would destroy Luffy and they both know it. As far as we know, Naruto has no devil fruit powers and knows the weakness that all users suffer from. He also has no problems using that weakness, as he said as much himself when he traveled with us. Even without it, from what I've seen, it wouldn't matter. Luffy can't hit him because he moves too fast. Even when he's just playing around, he's just as physically strong as Luffy, if not stronger. He has too many different techniques that no one has ever even seen before, and the way he fought at Arlong Park was like an experienced warrior that had done that kind of thing countless times. Usopp scratched his head under his turban. I'm still stumped at how someone like that can be so strong to manipulate elements without a devil fruit. Miss Valentine dragged a hand down her face and looked at everyone with a deadpan expression. So you're saying that I've been traveling on a ship with a man that has enough power to physically manipulate the actual environment around him at will? He has no goals in life and yet he finds himself out on the most dangerous ocean route known to man just for kicks. He has a crew of pirates yet he never particularly cared for being one. He wants to fight the most powerful people in existence but has no real motivation for doing so, and lastly, he doesn't even have a devil fruit. By the way, why is he even here in the first place? Johnny smirked. I think he said something about saving the country and getting the super hot princesses to dance for him again, like at Whiskey Peak, whatever that means. Vivi visibly blushed and turned her face from sight. Sanji chuckled lecherously. You know, I think me and this Naruto guy are going to get along fairly well. He turned a page in the book he was reading, especially if he has more of these orange books I found on your ship. Seriously, whoever wrote this is a genius. Miss Valentine kept her deadpan face until a smile slowly worked its way onto her face. I'm following the human embodiment of anarchy and discard. Laughs, you know, this Naruto might be more fun to be around than being in Baroque works. At least he won't try to kill you if you mess up. At that moment, Luffy came sprinting back from the rock he had dragged all of their luggage to. There are a bunch of dying birds back there. Chopper, come with me and heal them. Chopper got off of the sled he was being dragged on. Oh okay, I'm coming. Luffy picked him up and sprinted back to the rocks immediately. Dying birds, Vivi said. Wait, Luffy-san. Those birds are Warusugi, thieves of the desert. She yelled out in vain to him. Nami looked at Nojiko, both with sweat drops on their heads. My captain is stupider. Nojiko shook her head. No, Luffy's just ignorant. My captain is stupider. He's something of a pervert too. Nami smirked. You know you like it. At least he's cute. Nojiko rolled her eyes. Being cute only makes up for being only so dense and clueless. I swear Naruto-kun plays hopscotch on that line every single day. Says you. Nami said before turning her view ahead slyly, so, you want to trade? Nojiko scoffed, not a chance in hell. XXX. 2 days later. Naruto and Soren, who had found a white cloak to cover himself with on the ship, eventually found their way into Rainbase without too much trouble and effort, other than the next to endless running. Naruto shook his head as they entered town, his old goggles hiding his eyes as he realized during the first trek to where his and Luffy's crews had docked their ships that getting sand blown into your eyes was a pain in the ass. I'm just saying, Soren, there was no reason at all for you to stop and do what you did. Soren turned to his captain and gave him a dry look. We were being chased by a giant scorpion for like 12 miles. All I did was just turn around and melt it right quick. Naruto made a gesture as if that was his point. Exactly. You melted it. We were outrunning it so bad it wasn't even funny, it wasn't going to catch us, and I think it was getting tired. Besides, it only felt like 12 miles, we didn't go anywhere because you made us run in circles. Soren took a swig from his canteen. How could you tell it was getting tired? It was a fucking scorpion. Why didn't you just kick it into the distance or say something if you were that worried about it, Mr. Nature Activist? Naruto growled. Because someone turned into a banshee and started yelling about how we were going to die for about 2 miles worth of running. I couldn't get a word in edgewise. Soren turned away, scratching his mark. Come on man, you can't say those giant claws didn't freak you out. Naruto gave him a deadpan look. Those giant claws didn't freak me out, I've seen bigger. Soren couldn't tell whether or not he was kidding. You aren't even from the Grand Line, how could you have seen bigger? I call bullshit. Naruto shrugged. Believe whatever you want to. Now come on, let's look around this place. The city was a pretty thriving looking place. From what they both gathered from merely listening into the conversations of others, there was a widespread drought going on around the entire country. Well, from what both men could see, there sure as hell wasn't one going on here. Drought my ass, Soren said as they continued walking around the city. For a country undergoing a drought, this particular place seems to be doing justice, doesn't it? Naruto. Med. In thought, maybe. But we wouldn't hear that many people complain about it if there wasn't one going on. It's just one town, and apparently that river we were near used to be way stronger than it is now. Soren rubbed his chin. Well, droughts usually stop everything. If there was a drought, there would be no real commerce coming to this place because water is the base of everything. No water, no nothing, you know. Naruto pointed to a huge pyramid-shaped building. You think that might have something to do with the reason why this place is still kicking? Soren looked at the giant pyramid building, and more specifically at the giant crocodile statue on top of it. Gee, that isn't a dead giveaway to anyone that isn't a complete idiot at all, is it? Naruto smirked and nodded. Okay, it's time for some good old-fashioned espionage. And what better way to do that than to actually stay at this stupid resort? Soren interjected helpfully. It's actually a resort restaurant casino. Naruto waved it off. Whatever, can't you see I'm planning here? Anyway, we get a room and simply scope this place out until Crocodile does something stupid enough that he slips up and comes out, and then we kick his ass. Soren grinned. I like the part where we kick his ass especially. The grin fell from his face. But wait, what if he notices us? Won't he try to kill us? Naruto nodded. Of course he will. But he's not going to come and do it himself. He'll just send his lackeys to do it, and you and me can kill his lackeys all day because he's not even going to send his elites. He's not going to do anything wide-scale, and so as long as we don't give them an excuse to kick us out, everything will be fine. Soren thought about it. Well, I do need a vacation, but you do know that when everyone finds out where we are, they're going to beat the crap out of us. Yeah, Naruto admitted, but I'm sure we can come up with a good enough reason as to why we're here when it comes to it. Like we have terrible senses of direction or something like that. Besides, I'm paying for this with my own money, so who cares what they think? Both men stopped talking as they arrived at the front desk. Hello, I would like to purchase a room for a week's stay at your resort. Soren interjected. It's a resort restaurant casino. Naruto got a tick mark on his head. Yeah, sure, whatever. He turned his attention back to the attendant. Anyway, could I get a room for a week here? The woman behind the desk smiled pleasantly. Of course, that will be 100,000 belly. Soren blinked in surprise. Damn, that's a lot. How are we going to? He cut himself off when he saw Naruto simply flip through some bills and hand over the cash. The lady smiled pleasantly and handed them a pair of keys. Thank you and please enjoy your stay at Rain Dinners. Naruto nodded and motioned for Soren to follow along as they searched for their room. The acid user whispered harshly once they got out of earshot, how the hell did you pay for that? You just dropped 100,000 belly like it was nothing. Naruto shrugged, because it kind of was nothing. I have money from when I first got to the East Blue. I also ended up stealing some money from those bounty hunters at Whiskey Peak, and from that castle at Drum Island. Soren raised an eyebrow. You stole right in front of the Straw Hats in Drum Kingdom. Naruto grinned. Well, not right in front of them, they never saw me actually do it. Soren shook his head. You're kind of a bastard, you know that. Naruto made a wishy-washy motion with his hand, a little bit. XXX. One day later, resorts weren't really Naruto's thing. He never really felt comfortable being pampered and not having to do anything productive for himself, so even having to endure this for 24 hours left him borderline stir-crazy. He couldn't train with Soren lest they blow the shoddy cover they had, and when I say shoddy I mean shoddy. In hindsight, Naruto should have probably used Henge no Jutsu, transformation jutsu, to hide the identities of himself and Soren, but didn't do so for two reasons. 1. To keep the Henge over Soren, he would have had to stay with him the entire time they were there, and that would have seriously made it difficult to attempt any surveillance, way more difficult than it would have been to just slip in and out of the shadows otherwise, because Soren was actually surprisingly good at making himself scarce when it was needed. How else would he have been able to dodge the Marines for as long as he did otherwise? 2. He simply forgot once they got inside. However, once he remembered, told this to Soren, and got through listening to him gripe about how stupid a captain he was, Naruto shut him up by simply saying, robbery etiquette says that you cannot criticize the robbery plan while the job is in session. You have to wait until the raid is over. On that note, Naruto was simply sitting lazily in the casino, waiting on word from either Soren or one of the cage bunch, and he had littered about the entire city keeping tabs on whatever they found of interest. Naruto was currently indulging in the wonders of blackjack while listening to the conversation around him. Naruto looked down disinterestedly as he was more interested with the hearsay coming from the fellow casino patrons around him. Hit me. Naruto said as he had a visible king of spades. He hadn't even bothered to check what else he had. The dealer shrugged and did as Naruto asked before motioning as if asking if he wanted another card. Naruto was currently smirking after a remark that someone made nearby. Crocodile, a hero of the people, my ass. Naruto didn't even bother looking down. I'll stay. The dealer sweat dropped and went around the table. Naruto's thoughts strayed elsewhere as he kept his own eyes open for anything of interest in the crowd of people. I wonder where everyone else is. Luffy is strong enough to keep everyone safe. They'll all be fine. Well, look at that. A voice Naruto hadn't heard in a while said, it seems like you won. Dealer. What kind of streak is this man on right now? The dealer was giving chips to Naruto with a dry look on his face. Miss Manager, this guy has been here for 2 hours. I think he's won about 41 times straight by now. A familiar woman in a white cowboy hat sat next to Naruto and leaned her cheek into her hand. You must be very well off right about now. I hope you wouldn't mind cashing some of that out and buying a lady a drink. Naruto smirked and finally turned to face her. It's certainly been a while, hasn't it? What do I call you here? Do I call you by your real name or your code name? I asked because your boss might be uptight about that kind of thing and I'm not really here to bust you, just him. She returned his smirk with one of her own. You can call me whatever you want. I don't really care, to tell you the truth. Naruto nodded. Okay then, I think I'll use your real name, Robin-chan. Now, did you come over here to just shoot the breeze with me and watch me clean this place out, or is there something you want from me? He said as he stood up, taking the spoils of his victory. Nico Robin shook her head as she began to follow him. What exactly is your big plan to take down Crocodile? I highly doubt that you cleaning out his casino the way you've been doing is supposed to be a part of some conspiracy to finish off Baroque works. Naruto shrugged. You never know. But I have to say that this is a rather smart way to fund the group. Taking the money of the people around you to keep them happy and stupid right before you ruin their country. I bet everyone in this town couldn't care less about the ongoings of the rest of the country even if they tried. A good place for a base, no civil unrest to touch you, you never even have to see the effects of what you're doing. Robin laughed slightly. So you're some kind of counter-revolutionary. Like the most wanted man in the world, but simply one for anarchy. Naruto shook his head with an amused look on his face as they navigated the crowd. You're trying to look at the big picture when there simply is none to look at, Robin-chan. I don't have any underlying motives. I don't have a desire to see the entire government collapse or to see it maintain control, and after I'm done here I don't really care about what happens to this place. I just know right from wrong. And what this crocodile bastard is doing is wrong. They finally made it to the place to cash out as Naruto set his winnings on the table. I don't know what exactly he's trying to accomplish since he doesn't seem like the kind of guy to run a country, but all I know is that I can't let it happen. Naruto placed his hand out as a set of large stacks of bills were set into his hand. Robin followed Naruto once again as he walked away. The blonde sighed and looked over his shoulder as he led her along. It's clear that you're not here to kill me because I've been giving you countless openings to go for it since you found me, so what do you want? If you stay out of my way when this all goes down then we won't have to be enemies, but if you step in my way you'll risk getting caught in the crossfire, and that is just no place for a lady like you to be. Robin frowned. So give me a time frame. Naruto looked back at her and grinned widely. I can't do that. That was an answer she couldn't accept. Why not? If you want me out of the way for whatever it is you're here to do then I'll need to know when to bow out of this organization. Crocodile may have been a Shichibukai, but the way this man spoke was as if that title was just a pretty word, as if it was already a foregone conclusion that he wasn't going to be stopped by him. Naruto's grin turned sheepish. I can't give you a time frame because I don't even know myself when all of this is going to kick off. Your guess is as good as mine, honestly. That stopped her in her tracks. Robin stared at him in disbelief. So you're basically telling me that sometime in the next who knows when, something is going to happen that will spell the end for Baroque works, and you not only don't know when it's going to happen, you don't even have a clue of what's going to spark it. Naruto shook his head. No, I know what's going to spark it. I definitely know that much, I just don't know how long it's going to take for him to show up. Him? Robin questioned before her face took on a sly smile. You mean the Straw Hat Boy, Luffy? She giggled. You know, you are the absolute worst mastermind I have ever seen in my entire life. You're banking on the rubber boy to beat Crocodile instead of you fighting him yourself. Naruto shrugged. You call me a bad mastermind because you think my plan is stupid, but tell me, Robin-chan. Naruto summoned over a waiter and quickly paid for 2 drinks. If a plan still works, can you really call it stupid then? Naruto handed her one of the drinks and quickly downed his before backing away into the crowd. After a wave of people passed in front of him, there was no sign of him except a puff of smoke. Robin stared at where he had once been before laughing to herself and leaving with her drink in hand. Meanwhile, Naruto was outside of the casino watching her reaction from afar. When he saw her turn around and leave with a smile on her face, he pumped his fist in victory. Yes. Kami, that was so cool. If I had tried that at least 100 years ago, I never would have pulled that off. He sighed and looked up in accomplishment. So that's why all of the bad guys did stuff like that all the time. That felt really, really good. Go figure. XXX. Naruto slinked out of sight and managed to make his way up to the very top of Rain Dinners, currently sitting on the golden crocodile statue at the top, pretty much out of sight. His eyes were shut as he meditated. Around the edges of them were slight orange pigment. A smirk came to his face as he sensed someone coming near. What do you have, Soren? A moment later, a rapid pitter-patter of footsteps coming up the side of the resort signified Soren running up the side of the building and coming to a stop right next to Naruto on the roof. I really hate that you can do that. How the hell did you know I was coming before I even started making noise? Naruto shrugged and opened his eyes, revealing yellow toad-like eyes with a horizontal bar-like pupil before they receded to the normal blue. Oh, just some tricks I've picked up. Now what do you have for me? Soren sat down near Naruto on the roof. It's a big conspiracy, Uzumaki. Crocodile wants to overthrow the king of Alabasta. Naruto rolled his eyes. No. Really? Tell me something else I didn't know. Soren started leaking acid mist from his body in anger. Shut the hell up and let me finish if you don't mind, mister. I know everything about nothing. Now as I was saying, he's actually going to come out for this one, if you can actually believe it. Like it's the bad guy code to stay in the shadows until it's time for the big stuff to happen, and then they have to go and make a show of it. Anyway, as far as I can gather, it won't be long now before he shows himself. So when do we get him? He asked eagerly. Naruto shook his head. We don't ever get him. Luffy gets him. Soren's jaw dropped. Oh come on, Uzumaki. The only reason I was so excited about this was because I thought I was going to fight Crocodile myself. And you're letting Rubber Boy take the fight. Why? Naruto looked over at Soren. Call it a litmus test if you will. You have nothing to prove to me. You've been here in the Grand Line for as long as you have and you're still alive. I don't need to fight Crocodile myself because he hasn't pissed me off enough to get me on his case. Ace told me to watch over Luffy, but I'm not going to fight every single battle for him. He signed on and told the princess to her face that he was going to do this himself, and I'm the kind of guy that expects people to keep their promises. He's fighting Crocodile himself, and you're staying out of it. Soren was upset at not getting a crack at a Shichibukai but understood. Luffy was untested, and how better to protect someone than to first see exactly what they're capable of and how much they can handle. This was possibly the best feasible field test for someone that couldn't have been set up. Something like this had to just happen, and interfering in any way would have been in bad taste. Still, so I can't fight anyone? Soren asked. Naruto sighed. You can fight someone if they somehow find us and try to start something. Now where the hell are the Straw Hats and our crew? I'm ready to get this show on the road, you know. Soren shrugged. I don't know, but I do know someone that's in town. Your friend Smoker and that sword-using chick that's always with him, Tashigi. Damn it. Naruto ran his hand through his hair. Wait, you know his underling's name? Why? Soren looked away and whistled innocently. You kicked her ass in Nanohana, didn't you? No, Soren claimed defensively. I didn't kill her. I didn't even try to kill her. That's what I consider kicking someone's ass, killing them. As long as I leave you alive, that wasn't an ass kicking, it was a character builder. I was even nice enough to leave her sword intact, he said with a hint of pride. Naruto's eye twitched. Wow, I'm so proud of you that you didn't turn a girl into a puddle. Would you like some applause for that feat of mercy? Soren grumbled. Kiss my ass, Uzumaki. Naruto chuckled before a mental cue from a dispelled Kage Bunshin put a damper on his mood. The Straw Hats are finally here. And they've got the Marines back on their ass. They ran into Smoker again, he said as he stood up, pointing at a riff-raff coming up the street. They're coming this way. Get out of sight and watch from afar. This is for our crew also. Soren nodded as they jumped from the roof to an adjacent building to watch the scene unfold. XXX. As the group came upon Rain Dinners, Sanji spoke. This isn't good. We should split up. Everyone nodded in agreement. Luffy smiled. Then we'll all meet back up at Crocodile's. Luffy said before he launched himself in the air with his powers and pulled his eyelid at Smoker. Come and get me, Smokey. Smoker launched himself into the air with his own powers. Don't think you're getting away this time. Howito Bane, White Vine. Smoker wrapped his smoky appendage around the midair Luffy's body and held him in place, constricting him painfully. Luffy rapidly inhaled through his mouth. Gomu Gomu no Fusen, Gum Gum Balloon. Luffy's body instantly expanded and broke Smoker's grip on him, sending both of them forcefully away from one another. Luffy crash-landed in a camel pen and fled the scene. XXX. Soren looked at the street below and the pirates that separated. They split up. Who do we follow? Naruto looked at his crewmate. You can follow whoever you want. I've got Kage Bunshin scouring the entire town. I'm everywhere. Pick your favorite that you want to keep track of. Soren looked around before sitting firmly on the edge of the building. Why would I flip channels when I have picture-in-picture right here? Naruto laughed. Spoken like a lazy bastard. Now shut up so I can see how everybody does. XXX. 7. Yosaku cried out as he cut into two Marines that lifted their own swords to block but were simply overpowered by the swordsman. I'm on 7-2, you bastard. Johnny yelled in return as he blocked a pair of Marines that bore down on him with their own cutlasses. Johnny smirked and let off his own pressure that was blocking them, forcing them to stumble forward where he immediately dispatched them with slashes to the back, and that's 9. Yosaku chuckled as once again he blocked an attack from a marine before freeing up one hand and delivering a haymaker to the unsuspecting man's face. 8. Hey, where's Zoro and Ikki? Wasn't he here just a second ago? Johnny ducked a slash before blocking another one over his shoulder as he used his free arm to point down the street. Some girl with a katana and glasses chased him away. Hey, did you know that Zoro and Ikki is afraid of girls like that? He asked right before using his free hand to grab the attacking marine's arm and pull him towards his body to deliver a pair of back elbows to his nose. 10. Yosaku swung his sword powerfully at a marine, disarming him when the man lost his grip and let his sword fly off. He grabbed the hapless man by his collar and threw him at Johnny. 9. Johnny ducked and let the man crash into a pack of incoming marines, knocking them unconscious. What the hell? Yosaku grinned cruelly. 14. And don't say something like that about Zoro and Ikki. If you were on a ship with someone like Nami Ainu you would be scared too. Johnny stomped over to him and got in his face. We are on a ship with someone like that. I'm not afraid of Nojiko Ainu. I love her, she's like my sister. Yosaku returned fire, a sister that carries guns. Guns that she can actually use. Guns that she routinely brings out and uses on you, me, and Naruto and Ikki. Because we're stupid, Johnny added. She shoots at us because she cares about us. Both men turned from each other, stopped arguing, and yelled simultaneously at the marines that had surrounded them, "Can we help you?" The marines backed up a step as Johnny and Yosaku started stalking towards them threateningly. Yosaku had his massive nodashi sitting on his shoulder while Johnny had his uchigatana sheathed and was flicking it up and down with his thumb. Both men spoke in stereo. Can't you see two men are talking? They shouted before launching at all of the marines. Yosaku lifted his sword overhead and cleaved forward with a mighty swing as Johnny quickly unsheathed his sword and spun around in a lightning-quick circle, pushing the force of Yosaku's original attack out from the epicenter in a perfect circle around them. The force of the move knocked every single marine caught in the crossfire back violently and even broke street-side windows with the sheer force of the jolt. Kumiawa's Shindo combination shockwave. XXX Nami, Usopp, and Nojiko were running together through the streets when Nami pointed ahead. Look. There's the entrance to Rain Dinners. It's built in the middle of a lake. Usopp looked around as they ran. No one else is here yet. Nojiko kept looking around, but not speaking a word. Where did you go, Naruto-kun? Are you all right? A few Baroque Works operatives saw them running. There they are. Take them out. Usopp and Nami panicked at the sight of the men pointing rifles at them, but Nojiko scoffed and reached under her cloak and swiftly brandished a pair of pistols before unloading both into the unfortunate enemies. As the men cried out in pain upon being shot, the blue-haired girl sighed and reholstered her pistols, reaching into a supply pouch on her waist to reload while she had the chance. She turned around and noticed Usopp and Nami staring at her. What? Nami pointed at what she had just done. You just took those guys down. I didn't know you could do that. Nojiko looked down at where her pistols were held as she reloaded. Well, Naruto-kun taught me how. I still can't hit him though, he's just way too fast. Usopp stared at her in disbelief. Those were great shots. You've only been shooting since you've been traveling with Naruto. That's really good. Nojiko blushed under the praise. Well, Naruto-kun says that he, quote, wants me to be able to shoot the wings off of a fly in flight from 30 yards away. So I'm not even close to being good yet. Zoro ran up to them, looking around at the fallen Baroque Works members. Whoa, what happened here? Nami yelled at the green-haired swordsman. Zoro, weren't you with Vivi? Zoro nodded. I was, but I let her go ahead. Isn't she here yet? She didn't have to even fight anyone. Nami groaned. She's probably inside already. Ah. Luffy yelled as he ran towards the casino. Moku Moku's chasing me. Let's go everybody. Smoker was hot on his heels the entire time. Luffy stopped in front of the massive resort and yelled at the top of his lungs. Crocodile. Get your ass out here. XXX Soren and Naruto sweat-dropped at Luffy's display. Rubber boy means well and tries hard, but he is simply not that bright at all as he. Naruto chuckled humorously. Seriously. This guy reminds me of myself when I was a kid so much it isn't even funny, and I'm not sure how much of a good thing that is. But I was a kid, he's damn near a grown man. What the hell is his excuse? Soren looked at all of the amassed straw hats plus Nojiko. Where are Sanji, Chopper, Johnny, Yosaku, and Miss Valentine? Naruto kept his eyes on the action below. Johnny and Yosaku are beating the hell out of either a bunch of Marines or a bunch of Baroque Works millions. I can't tell because they're not really distinguishing one side from the other. Miss Valentine is doing her damnedest to stay inconspicuous throughout this whole thing. She's just sitting pretty in a cafe at the edge of town. I'm actually thinking of going to get her since she isn't going to fight. Sanji is doing the same damn thing Johnny and Yosaku are doing, only they're enjoying it better. And Chopper, I have not the faintest idea where he is. XXX Nami cracked Luffy in the back of the head when he ran into the casino and once again shouted for Crocodile to show himself. How is that going to get him to come out, you dumbass? He's the hero of this country. Do you want to make enemies of all of the people too? Luffy simply ignored her and kept yelling out until employees started calling for security and Smoker kicked the front door down. I've got you now, Straw Hat. This place is on a lake, you can't get away. Damn, Luffy mumbled before taking off running through the building. Nojiko sweat dropped. What is this guy's problem with Luffy and Naruto-kun? He's so obsessive it's kind of scary. 3 security guards tried to take Luffy outside but he simply bowled them over and kept running around the casino. Suddenly a red carpet rolled out from the main office as multiple attendants stood around gesturing to the door. Right this way to the VIP room please. That actually pissed off all of the Straw Hats. Nami glared at the door. Is he saying to bring it on? Zoro laughed angrily. What a clever guy. Luffy growled. Let's go already. Luffy ran down the carpet and through the door. Hey, what does VIP mean? The rest of the crew ran inside after him. Short one Nojiko, who stayed outside, still concealed by her desert garb. Nojiko shook her head and walked away. There is no way I'm going in there with the rest of you. Are you all insane? She threw her hands up in exasperation as she left the casino. I'm looking for everyone else so we can bail you idiots out after you get yourselves caught. XXX Soren looked at the entrance of the casino warily. Should we go in? Naruto shook his head. Nope. He pointed. Noji-chan's coming out. She's my responsibility right now. Back in a sec. Naruto vanished in a shunshin, leaving Soren alone on the roof until he reappeared a second later, holding Nojiko close to him. Hi Noji-chan. Crack. Fuck. Naruto cried as he held the lump on his head from where Nojiko hit him with the butt of her pistol. Okay, I guess I might have deserved that. Nojiko glared at him before cocking and pointing the same pistol at Soren, who immediately stopped laughing. Where the hell have you two been? I know damn well you're both more than fast enough to catch up to us. Naruto and Soren looked at each other before nodding and speaking at the same time. Here, getting intel. Nojiko tapped her foot impatiently. And what can you tell me that I don't already know? Think carefully. Soren rubbed his head. Even with rigged games, for some reason this guy doesn't lose at gambling. Naruto shrugged. The resort massage parlor doesn't do happy endings, ow goddamn it. Naruto yelled after taking another hit from Nojiko's gun. Fucking pervert. She growled. What are you doing? Aren't you going to go fight Crocodile? Go do your thing and turn that casino into a crater in the ground and finish this. Naruto stroked his chin. I could do that. I should do that. But I'm not going to do that. So sorry Noji-chan, not this time. Soren grumbled. Yeah, the almighty Uzumaki says we aren't fighting Crocodile, Tem. Nojiko looked at Naruto strangely. Why the hell aren't we fighting Baroque Works, Naruto-kun? Naruto returned her look. You're telling me you want to fight? Nojiko shook her head. Luffy's crew were the ones that volunteered to do this. I didn't sign us up for this. I'm just here to observe and step in if it becomes absolutely necessary. And, absolutely necessary, means? The female crew member asked. Naruto rubbed the back of his head. Desperate doomsday ultimatum scenario, more or less. Well, Nojiko stated sheepishly. Luffy, Nami, Usopp, and Zoro walked right into the most blatant trap I've ever seen anyone set up ever. Does that count as bad enough to get involved? Naruto shook his head. Nope. Nojiko face faulted. Damn it, are you going to do anything? Do you at least know where Vivi is? Yeah, Naruto admitted as he pointed to the entrance of Rain Dinners. She's right there. Damn it Naruto-kun, Nojiko shouted. Don't let them fight Crocodile alone. They're not you. You're damn right they're not me, that's why I'm making them do this. Naruto shouted over her, actually stopping her with the anger in his voice. You think I don't know that no one on the Straw Hat crew is as strong as me? You think I don't realize that I could probably stop this entire thing by myself and just go about my business? Well, say that I do that. Say that I march my ass right into that casino, clean everyone's clock, free everyone, stomp a mudhole in Crocodile's ass, and save this damn country by myself. What the hell would any of them get out of this? What would anyone on that crew actually learn from this? Nojiko looked between the casino and Naruto, but they could die. Naruto shook his head. I'm not stupid, Noji-chan. I'm not going to let anyone die, but fighting a battle that they've dedicated themselves to won't help anyone here. We've just gotten onto the Grand Line, and all of them have big goals, goals that will put them in more danger than this. The only way to truly grow is to push your limits. Just let it happen. This isn't our fight. He walked to the edge of the building, smirked as he saw a pile of beaten down bodies littering the streets around Rain Dinners. Man, Sanji and the boys sure broke off a serious ass-kicking just now, didn't they? Crocodile and Nico Robin came out from inside to survey the scene. Once again, I'll be right back. Naruto shunshined down from his spot, leaving Nojiko and Soren on the roof. Crocodile looked down at one of the beaten men. What happened here? The bloodied man looked up painfully. The guy that did this called himself Mr. Prince. He and two other guys left towards the south end of town. Crocodile looked down the street where Naruto appeared in a gust of leaves, grinning and waving at him. Crocodile glared at him coldly. Piece of shit, don't think you can get away from me. Robin shook her head. Why don't you just let him go? Crocodile turned the lower half of his body to sand and took off after Naruto. Be quiet, he killed all of my employees. No one humiliates me like this. Naruto saw him coming and grinned wider as he took off to evade him. You've got to be faster than that, you know. You'll never catch me moving slow like this. Naruto turned back and saw his lower body was sand. You know, I once knew another guy that had the same powers you did. Crocodile cut Naruto off with an attack. Desato Supata, Desert Spada. Crocodile's right hand turned into a loose blade of sand and stabbed it into the ground. It carried out towards Naruto like a torpedo, cutting through the pavement. Right when it hit Naruto, he disappeared in a puff of smoke, his body replaced by a pot. Like I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted. Naruto said as he walked out from a nearby alley. I knew a guy that had the same powers you did, but he was way better than you. Crocodile simply looked at Naruto with his usual lazy-looking expression. Are you Mr. Prince? Naruto grinned. No, I can't say that I am. Are you telling me that you don't know who I am? I could have sworn I told your pretty partner who I was. Kabuki instruments started playing as he started hopping to the side on one foot. I am the child of prophecy, the #1 immortal knucklehead ninja, the all-powerful and infinitely sexy eternal Toad Sennin, and the worst possible matchup you could have to fight right now, Uzumaki Naruto. He finished with one hand straight out in front of him and the other straight out behind, crouched down in a side view with the wind blowing rose petals around him. Crocodile stood in place with a sweat drop on his head while Naruto looked up to the rooftops with a thumbs up. Good going, guys, I think you nailed that one right on the money. On the roofs surrounding the street, a mass of Naruto clones with instruments, baskets of petals, and a few channeling wind chakra down below gave Naruto a grin in return. Anytime, boss. They then dispersed out around town. Crocodile broke out in chuckles. So you're the kid that Miss All Sunday told me said he was going to tear my organization apart. Between you and Straw Hat coming after me, I don't know which one is more laughable. Naruto laughed along with him. Whatever you say, but I didn't come here to fight, at least not yet. I'm leaving that to someone else. I just came to. Naruto suddenly threw 3 shuriken at Crocodile that passed through his body harmlessly. Test your ability. Naruto nodded as if that was all he needed to know. Yeah, you're just perfect for the kid to get his feet wet with. Crocodile looked at Naruto as if he were an idiot, and just what is that supposed to mean? Naruto laughed and turned around to walk away. Oh, don't mind me, I've seen all I've needed to see. Besides, I'm no one important anyway, I'm nothing but a humble observer, this doesn't have very much to do with me. Crocodile sent another attack at Naruto, but he vanished in a blur of speed before it could hit. Don't attack me, Crocodile. It's not very smart. Naruto's voice rang out from around him. Now weren't you looking for a Mr. Prince? I don't know about you, but I have people to collect. Crocodile looked around before scoffing and making his way to the outskirts of town to find Mr. Prince. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, as well as checking out the author on fanfiction.net.